Hello, folks. Guess what? Young people aren't horny anymore. Millennials have given up on sex. Way to go, feminism. Way to go, cultural Marxist teachers. Way to go, porn and video games. Good work. Now we can't sell boners to teens. When I was a young man, you prayed to God to stop the boners. Now boners, that's a private thing. Don't worry about it. There's all these headlines coming out this week. Millennials are having less sex than any generation in 60 years. Here's why it matters. There really isn't anything magical about it, reads another headline. Why more millennials are avoiding sex. That article goes on to say, millennials, born in the 1990s, are more than twice as likely to be sexually inactive in their early 20s as the previous generation was. Even older millennials are more sexually active than this younger group. Now, I know you're prone to get all Archie Bunker about it and go,
The guy who's a fag is a queer.
Or Tony Soprano and go,
he's a fag.
But I'm proud of your boy. And I started a group called the Proud Boys to fight this phenomenon. Here's how it started. Cultural Marxists in school, female teachers said men are evil, men are bad, and as C. Summers points out, began a war on boys. Now we have girls' grades higher than boys' grades because they include behavior, and teachers are telling these young boys, your behavior's bad. If you're drawing pictures of guns, if you're biting a Pop-Tart into a gun, you're bad, bad, bad. Girls are good. Then they get older, feminism starts attacking them. You're a rapist, everything you do is wrong, you suck. Eventually they go, you know what, I'm out. MGTOW, men going their own way. And these boys, these teens, these 20-somethings now, they go over into their rooms and they masturbate to pornography. That's how they meet chicks. And then they also play video games. That's how they fraternize. So their social life and everything is in the privacy of their own basement. And what happens is they get older, eventually they have to face the real world, and they're not equipped. They end up becoming losers. And that's what the millennials have become. I have this torch, okay? I grew up in the 70s where men were sexy. Burt Reynolds was all hairy and Playgirl. We wore short shorts with our pockets hanging out and had bulges. And we had our midriffs showing when we were 13 years old and our hair all feathered back. Like we were hot and we were dudes. It was borderline gay. Anyway, I made this awesome torch, slept with tons of chicks. I got 3 kids. I'm ready to go to the suburbs. I hand over the torch to the millennials and they go, sorry, that's... Can you put one of those coffee sleeves on it like at Starbucks? It just seems very warm. And I go, wow, I have to sell boners to you guys. I have to sell intercourse. I thought God handled that by putting a lot of nerve endings down there. He made it feel good. He made it feel good when it's mushy. He made boobs soft. And you're like, no, thank you. I don't want a boob. You don't want a boob? I spent my entire adolescence just arguing, like negotiating for hours in the basement, necking with girls until everything was red here, just to touch the side of a third of a left tit. You don't want either tits totally nude? No. Looks like a bum with nipples. No thanks. As we learned from NoFap and my organization, No Wanks, which is the religion of the Proud Boys, and our Pope is Dante Nero, pornography is bad for your brain. It releases endorphins that say, you're screwing all these chicks, you're Attila the Hun, you're Genghis Khan. And as Pope Dante says, this is all Proud Boys culture that might sound strange to you if you're not involved. He says you have to stop beating off and lay down 5 bricks a day. Hit on girls 5 times a day. That can be just, there she is, or you're my type, something. Establish a connection. And even married men, you need to be all over your wife. And when you masturbate, you're not. When you watch porn, you're not. Porn is terrible for marriages. It is responsible for 2/3 of divorces, according to me right now, just guessing. It's responsible for a lot of divorces. Because there's no stakes anymore. You should be chasing your wife up the stairs. And she should be going, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Must be fun to be a woman sometimes. Video games are very similar, and we avoid both as the Proud Boys. And I read this great article that says everything we've been saying about porn, but about video games. And it was this academic talking about how these young men are unemployed for years at a time, and they don't mind because their entire vocation is playing video games. The obvious problem with this lifestyle occurs as they age and haven't accumulated any skills or experience. As a 30 or 40-year-old man getting married and needing to provide for a family, job options are extremely limited. This older group of lower educated men seems to be much less happy than their cohorts. Now, The Proud Boys have been effective. We have helped thwart this impotence, but it's not a cure-all. In fact, we had a guy, Rat, that I work with, a 24-year-old engineer on my show, Virgin. I got him to quit beating off, but I couldn't get him to buy a motorbike or join a boxing gym and grow facial hair or even drink. And he got laid once and then gave up. Too much work. I pushed it again on Coppercab. Remember Gingers Have Souls guy? Pushed him to get a motorbike, to grow up, to be a man. I told him to grow facial. I told him to get a leather vest. You know, I tailor it for each person. He didn't listen to any of those. And he did get a motorbike. I asked him what kind it was, how many cc's. He goes, it's yellow. And I pushed him so hard that he had a malfunction. Circuits popped, and now he's a chick. That's right. Coppercab failed at my advice and became a woman who is now Claire Cab. This is how dire the situation is, okay? If you don't believe me, look at this video. All right, this is a show on TLC where it's called Love at First Kiss. You don't have any preamble. You don't need to court. You just go up and make out with a chick. This guy sums up the trouble with millennials today. Look at how he handles a free kiss with a very attractive lady with a perfect amount of body fat. Never had a job. Mommy tells him he's special. Oh, my God.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Now grab her and make out.
I'm Josh.
Look at his fake smile. Don't smile. Oh.
Can I kiss you?
Sure.
Can I kiss you? That's the show, dummy. Ah! That's enough of that. How did we get here? Did you like that? Okay, check it out. I got a whole comedy show called How's It Going, Eh? You just have to click right here to subscribe.